Hello everyone, welcome back to our podcast. My name is Lily, and today we have a very fun episode. This podcast is for people who want to learn English in a simple and relaxed way. So we will speak slowly and use easy words.
Hi Lily, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here today.
Today we will talk about travel. Travel is a great way to learn English because we often talk about food, places, and daily life. Our topic today is Boracay Island in the Philippines. And today I have a special guest with me. Her name is Emma. Hi Emma, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Lily. I'm excited to talk about our Boracay trip.
Emma and I traveled to Boracay together last year, and it was an amazing experience. Today we want to share our travel story, what we did every day, what food we tried, and some beautiful places we visited. Emma, before we start, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Emma. I love traveling, trying local food, and taking photos. When I travel, I like to wake up early and explore the city or island slowly. I think traveling is one of the best ways to relax and also learn about different cultures.
I completely agree. Travel helps us understand how people live in different places. So Emma, let's start from the beginning. How did we decide to go to Boracay?
One day, I was watching travel videos on YouTube, and I saw a video about Boracay. The beach looked incredible. The sand was very white and the water was very clear. I remember I sent the video to you and said, Lily, we need to go here.
Yes, I remember that. When I watched the video, I immediately thought, wow, this place looks like paradise. The beach looked so peaceful, so we started planning our trip.
Yes, and planning the trip was actually very exciting. First, we searched for flights. We looked at different airlines and tried to find a good price. After that, we started looking for hotels.
Boracay has many hotels. Some are very luxurious, and some are small and simple. We decided to stay at a small hotel near White Beach, which is the most famous beach in Boracay. Emma, why did we choose that hotel?
Because the location was perfect. The hotel was only 2 minutes away from the beach. Also, there were many restaurants and cafes nearby, so we thought it would be easy to walk everywhere.
Yes, and we also read many reviews online. Many travelers said the hotel staff were very friendly. And that was true. When we arrived, the staff welcomed us with big smiles.
I still remember the first day very clearly. We arrived in the afternoon. The weather was warm and we could smell the ocean air. After checking into the hotel, we put our bags in the room and went directly to the beach.
And when we saw White Beach for the first time, we were both silent for a few seconds. The sand was so soft and white, it felt like walking on powder.
Yes, and the ocean water was a beautiful light blue color. There were many palm trees along the beach, and the wind was very gentle. It felt very relaxing.
Many people were walking on the beach. Some were swimming, some were taking photos, and some were just sitting and watching the sunset. Emma, do you remember what we did first on the beach?
Yes, we took a lot of photos. I think we spent almost 30 minutes just walking slowly and taking pictures. The sunset that day was beautiful. The sky turned orange, pink, and purple.
Boracay is famous for its sunsets. Many people say it is one of the best sunset spots in the world. And after watching the sunset, we started to feel hungry.
Yes, very hungry. Travel always makes me hungry. So we decided to find a local restaurant for dinner.
That night, we tried our first Filipino meal in Boracay. The restaurant was small but very cozy. Emma, do you remember what we ordered?
Yes, we ordered several dishes because we wanted to try many local foods. The first dish was chicken adobo. Adobo is one of the most famous Filipino dishes. The chicken is cooked with soy sauce, vinegar, garlic, and spices. The flavor is a little salty and a little sour, but very delicious.
I loved that dish. The chicken was very tender and the sauce was perfect with rice. And of course, in the Philippines, people eat a lot of rice.
Yes, rice is very important in Filipino meals. We also tried garlic rice, which was very fragrant.
Another dish we ordered was grilled seafood. Because Boracay is an island, the seafood there is very fresh.
Yes, the grilled shrimp was amazing. The shrimp was cooked with butter, garlic, and a little lemon. It smelled so good.
And we also tried mango shake. The Philippines is famous for its mangoes.
That mango shake was probably the best mango drink I have ever had. It was sweet, cold, and very refreshing. Perfect after a long travel day.
After dinner, we walked along the beach again. At night, the beach was very lively. There were street performers, small shops, and music from restaurants.
Yes, and there were many small food stalls selling snacks. Some people were selling grilled corn, ice cream, and coconut drinks.
One thing I really loved was the fresh coconut water. The vendor cut the coconut open right in front of us.
Yes, drinking coconut water directly from the coconut felt very tropical. It was simple but very special.
That was the end of our first day in Boracay. We were very tired but also very happy. Before going to sleep, we talked about our plan for the next day.
Yes, because the next day we wanted to try island hopping, which is a very popular activity in Boracay.
Emma, do you remember what time we woke up that day?
Yes, I remember very clearly. We woke up quite early, around 7:00 inches the morning.
Yes, the weather in Boracay was amazing. The sky was clear and the air felt warm and fresh.
That sound was very relaxing. After waking up, we got ready and decided to go out for breakfast.
Yes, and the best part was that our hotel was only 2 minutes away from the beach, so we walked along the beach to find a nice breakfast place.
Morning time in Boracay felt very peaceful. There were not too many people yet. Some tourists were jogging, some were walking slowly on the sand, and some were already swimming.
The sand felt cool and soft under our feet, and the sunlight on the water looked beautiful.
After walking for about 5 minutes, we found a small beach cafe. The cafe had wooden tables and chairs, and it was facing the ocean.
Yes, I loved that cafe. The atmosphere was very relaxed. There were small plants and decorations everywhere, and soft music was playing.
We sat down at a table near the beach. From our seats, we could see the ocean waves and small boats.
And then we looked at the menu. Emma, what did you order for breakfast?
I ordered a Filipino breakfast set. It had fried eggs, garlic, rice, and a type of Filipino sausage called longanisa.
Longanisa is very popular in the Philippines. It is sweet, slightly salty, and very flavorful.
Yes, and it tasted amazing with garlic rice. The garlic rice was very fragrant and slightly crispy.
For my breakfast, I ordered pancakes with fresh mango. The pancakes were soft and warm, and the mango slices were very sweet.
The mango in the Philippines is really special. It tastes sweeter and more juicy than many mangoes in other countries.
And of course, we also ordered coffee. Sitting near the beach, drinking coffee, and watching the ocean was the perfect start to the day.
After breakfast, we went back to the hotel for a short time. Because that day, we planned to do something very exciting.
Yes, we planned to go island hopping. Island hopping is one of the most popular activities in Boracay.
For people who don't know, island hopping means taking a boat to visit several small islands around Boracay. You can swim, snorkel, and explore different beaches.
Around 10:00 inches the morning, we went to the beach to meet the boat tour group. There were about 10 people in our group.
The boat we used was called a banca boat. It is a traditional Filipino boat with 2 side support.
The boat looked very interesting. It had a colorful roof and wooden seats.
When the boat started moving, the wind felt very cool and refreshing. We could see the entire coastline of Boracay from the water.
The ocean color was incredible. It changed from light blue to deep blue as we moved further away.
Our first stop was a place for snorkeling.
Snorkeling is when you swim in the ocean and look at fish underwater using a mask and a breathing tube.
Before entering the water, the guide gave us snorkeling masks and life jackets.
I was a little nervous at first because the water looked deep.
But once we got into the water, it was actually very fun. The water was clear, and we could see many small fish.
Yes, some fish were yellow, some were blue, and some had stripes.
Swimming with fish felt magical. It was like being inside a nature documentary.
We spent about 40 minutes snorkeling. After that, we went back to the boat.
Our next stop was a place called Crystal Cove Island.
Crystal Cove Island is famous for its beautiful views and small caves.
When we arrived, we walked up a small hill. From the top, we could see the ocean in every direction.
The view was breathtaking. The water was bright turquoise, and the waves looked gentle.
There were also 2 small caves that visitors could explore. Inside the caves, the rocks were very interesting.
and the sound of the waves echoing inside the cave was very cool.
We took many photos there. I think that place had some of the best views of our entire trip.
After exploring the island, we went back to the boat again. At that time, we were starting to feel hungry.
Yes, because it was already around 1:00 inches the afternoon. And the good news was that lunch was included in the island hopping tour.
The boat stopped near a quiet beach where the guides prepared lunch.
The lunch was a Filipino barbecue meal. There were grilled fish, grilled chicken, vegetables, rice, and fresh fruit.
Everything smelled amazing. The grilled fish was fresh and juicy.
And the grilled chicken had a sweet barbecue sauce. It was very delicious.
We also had fresh pineapple and watermelon for dessert. After swimming and exploring, the fruit tasted extra refreshing.
After lunch, we had some free time to relax on the beach.
The beach was very quiet. There were only a few people, so it felt peaceful.
Some people in our group went swimming again, but we decided to just sit on the sand and enjoy the view.
Sometimes when you travel, the best moment is simply sitting quietly and enjoying nature.
Yes, I completely agree. That moment felt very calm and happy.
Around 3:30 inches the afternoon, we returned to the boat and went back to Boracay. The island hopping trip lasted about 5 hours.
When we returned to the main beach, we were very tired, but also very excited, because the day was not finished yet.
Yes, that evening we decided to explore the mall, which is a popular shopping and food area in Boracay, but we will talk about that in the next part of our story. Emma, do you remember how we felt when we returned to Boracay after the island hopping tour?
Yes, I remember we were very tired, but at the same time, we were also very excited because the sky was starting to change colors and it was almost sunset again.
Yes, and Boracay sunsets are very famous. Many travelers say that Boracay has one of the most beautiful sunsets in the world.
So before going back to the hotel, we decided to stay on the beach and watch the sunset again.
That evening, the beach was much more lively than in the morning. There were many tourists walking on the sand. Some people were playing beach volleyball, and some were taking photos.
There were also many small sailboats on the ocean. These boats are called paras.
Yes, a para is a traditional Filipino sailboat. It has a big sail and it moves slowly across the water.
Some tourists were taking sunset sailing tours on those boats. And honestly, it looked very romantic.
Yes, it looked very peaceful. Maybe next time we should try that.
Definitely. So we sat on the sand and watched the sunset. The sky slowly turned orange, pink, and purple again.
At that moment, everything felt very calm. The wind was soft and the waves were gentle.
Sometimes when you travel, those quiet moments become your favorite memories.
Yes, I agree. But after sunset, something interesting started happening on the beach.
Oh yes, the fire dance show.
Many restaurants along White Beach have fire dancers in the evening.
Fire dancers perform with burning sticks or ropes. They spin the fire around their bodies while dancing.
It looked very impressive. The performers were very skilled.
And many tourists stopped to watch the show. Some people were even recording videos.
After watching the fire dance, we started feeling hungry again. Traveling and swimming always makes people hungry.
Yes, especially after island hopping. So we decided to go to the mall.
For people who don't know, the mall is a very popular shopping and food area in Boracay.
It is located near White Beach, and it has many restaurants, cafes, souvenir shops, and street food stalls.
When we arrived at the mall, the place was full of people. There were tourists from many different countries.
The atmosphere was very lively. There was music, laughter, and the smell of delicious food everywhere.
Yes, the smell of grilled seafood was everywhere.
And that smell made us even more hungry.
So we started walking around to find a good place for dinner.
One thing that I really liked about the mall was the variety of food. You could find Filipino food, Italian food, Korean food, and even Japanese food.
But since we were in the Philippines, we wanted to try more local food.
Exactly. And then we found a very interesting place. It was a seafood market restaurant.
Yes, this place was very special. First, you choose fresh seafood from the market. Then the restaurant cooks it for you.
It was like a seafood adventure.
When we entered the seafood market, we saw many tanks full of seafood. There were crabs, lobsters, shrimp, clams, and many kinds of fish.
Everything looked very fresh. Some fish were still swimming in the tank.
The staff helped us choose the seafood. They also explained different cooking styles.
For example, you could choose garlic butter, grilled, sweet chili sauce, or steamed with ginger.
After thinking for a few minutes, we decided to order lobster and crab.
Yes, we chose a large lobster and asked the restaurant to cook it with garlic butter.
And we ordered a crab with chili sauce.
While the restaurant was cooking the seafood, we sat down and waited.
The restaurant atmosphere was very relaxed. Many people were talking, laughing, and enjoying their meals.
And after about 20 minutes, the food arrived.
When the lobster arrived at the table, it smelled incredible.
The garlic butter sauce was rich and fragrant.
The lobster meat was soft and juicy. It was one of the best seafood dishes I have ever eaten.
The chili crab was also amazing. The sauce was slightly sweet, slightly spicy, and very flavorful.
Eating crab can be messy, but it is also very fun.
Yes, our hands were covered in sauce, but the food was worth it.
Of course, we also ordered rice because seafood with rice is perfect.
And we ordered another mango shake.
I think we drank mango shakes almost every day in Boracay.
Yes, because they were so delicious.
After dinner, we walked around the mall again.
There were many small souvenir shops.
Some shops sold handmade bracelets, shells, and beach clothes.
We also saw shops selling Philippine dried mango.
Dried mango is a very famous snack from the Philippines.
Yes, it is sweet, slightly chewy, and very tasty.
We bought several packs to take home.
After shopping, we decided to get dessert.
And we found a small dessert shop that sold Halo Halo.
Halo Halo is a famous Filipino dessert.
It is made with shaved ice, milk, sweet beans, jelly, fruit, and ice cream.
It sounds like many different ingredients, but the taste is actually very good.
The dessert was cold and sweet, which was perfect for the warm weather.
After dessert, we slowly walked back to our hotel.
The beach at night looked very peaceful again. The moonlight was reflecting on the water.
That night, we felt very happy and satisfied. It was a long day full of adventure, food, and beautiful views.
And the next day was going to be another exciting day, because we planned to visit Puka Beach, which is another famous beach in Boracay.
Yes, Puka Beach is very different from White Beach. It is quieter and more natural.
So in the next episode, we will talk about visiting Puka Beach, trying local street food, drinking fresh coconut, and exploring more of Boracay Island.
Thank you for listening and learning English with us.
See you in the next episode of our Easy English Travel Podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Easy English Podcast.
If you are learning English, thank you for listening to us. In this podcast, we use simple words and natural conversations so English beginners can understand easily.
Today, we are continuing our travel story about Boracay Island in the Philippines.
In the last episode, Emma and I talked about our evening at the mall. We ate delicious seafood, watched fire dancers on the beach, and tried the famous Filipino dessert Halo Halo.
Today, we will talk about our third day in Boracay. Emma, do you remember how we started that day?
Yes, I remember that morning very well. That day we decided to wake up a little earlier, around 6:30 inches the morning.
Yes, because we wanted to visit a special place called Puka Beach.
Puka Beach is located on the northern side of Boracay Island. It is quieter and more natural than White Beach.
Many travelers say Puka Beach is perfect if you want to escape the crowds and enjoy nature.
Before going there, we first went to a small cafe for breakfast.
Yes, this cafe was famous for its smoothie bowls.
A smoothie bowl is a thick fruit smoothie served in a bowl and topped with fruit, granola, and coconut flakes.
I ordered a mango and banana smoothie bowl.
And I ordered a dragon fruit smoothie bowl. Dragon fruit is a tropical fruit with bright pink skin.
The smoothie bowl looked very colorful. It had strawberries, coconut pieces, and crunchy granola on top.
It tasted fresh and healthy. A perfect breakfast before a beach trip.
After breakfast, we took a tricycle to Puka Beach.
For people who don't know, a tricycle is a common transportation vehicle in the Philippines. It is a small motorcycle with a sidecar for passengers.
Yes, riding a tricycle is a fun experience. You can feel the wind and see the island scenery while riding.
The ride took about 20 minutes. We passed small villages, local houses, and many palm trees.
When we finally arrived at Puka Beach, the first thing we noticed was how peaceful it was.
Yes, there were far fewer people compared to White Beach.
The sand at Puka Beach is slightly different. It is not as powdery as White Beach. Instead, it has small puka shells mixed in the sand.
That is actually how the beach got its name.
The ocean there looked very deep blue and powerful. The waves were bigger than at White Beach.
It felt more wild and natural.
We walked along the beach for a long time. The breeze felt very fresh.
There were also some small local stalls selling snacks and drinks.
One of the stalls was selling fresh coconuts.
And of course, we had to try one.
The vendor used a large knife to cut open the coconut. Then he put a straw inside.
Fresh coconut water tastes very light and refreshing. It is also very healthy.
After drinking the coconut water, the vendor even cut the coconut in half so we could eat the coconut meat inside.
The coconut meat was soft and slightly sweet.
After relaxing at the beach, we decided to try something more adventurous.
Yes, we decided to do an ATV ride.
ATV stands for all-terrain vehicle. It is a four-wheel motor vehicle used for off-road driving.
The ATV tour took us through dirt roads, small forests, and hills.
At first, I was a little nervous because I had never driven an ATV before.
But after a few minutes, it became very fun.
Driving through the jungle paths felt like an adventure movie.
We even stopped at a viewpoint where we could see the ocean from the top of a hill.
The view was incredible. The water looked endless.
We took many photos there.
After the ATV tour, we returned to the main town area. By then it was already early afternoon and we were very hungry.
So we started looking for a place to eat lunch.
This time we decided to try Filipino street food.
Street food is a great way to experience local culture.
The first thing we tried was banana Q.
Banana Q is a popular Filipino snack made from fried bananas covered in caramelized sugar.
The outside was sweet and crispy, and the inside was soft.
We also tried chicken barbecue skewers.
The chicken was grilled over charcoal and covered with a sweet sauce.
The smell was amazing.
Another interesting snack we saw was fish balls.
Fish balls are small fried balls made from fish paste. They are served with sweet or spicy sauce.
Street food vendors usually have a big pot of hot oil where they fry the fish balls.
Customers use a small stick to pick the fish balls and dip them into sauce.
It was a fun experience.
After eating street food, we decided to take a break at a cafe.
Boracay has many beautiful beach cafes.
The cafe we chose had comfortable chairs and a great ocean view.
I ordered an iced latte.
And I ordered a coconut ice cream dessert.
The coconut ice cream was served inside a real coconut shell.
It was creamy, sweet, and very tropical.
While sitting in the cafe, we talked about how much we loved Boracay.
Yes, the island had everything. Beautiful beaches, delicious food, friendly people, and relaxing vibes.
But our adventure was not over yet, because that evening we planned to try something very special.
Yes, we plan to experience a Boracay sunset sailing tour.
Many people say sunset sailing is one of the most romantic and beautiful activities in Boracay.
So in the next episode, we will talk about our sunset sailing experience, more amazing seafood, night beach activities, and our final thoughts about Boracay.
Thank you for listening to our Easy English podcast.
Keep practicing your English, and see you in the next episode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Easy English podcast. If you are learning English, thank you for listening to us. Our goal is to help you practice English in a relaxed and natural way.
Today is the final part of our travel story about Boracay Island in the Philippines.
In the last episode, Emma and I talked about visiting Puka Beach, riding an ATV, and trying some Filipino street food.
Today, we will talk about our sunset sailing experience, more delicious food, and our final thoughts about Boracay. Emma, are you ready? Yes. I'm very excited to talk about this part, because the sunset sailing tour was one of my favorite experiences on the island.
Mine too. So let's start from the afternoon. After relaxing at the cafe and eating coconut ice cream, we went back to the beach around 4:30 the afternoon.
That was the perfect time because sunset in Boracay usually happens around 5:30 or 6 p.m.
When we arrived at the beach, we saw many para sailboats waiting near the water.
A para is a traditional Filipino sailboat with large sails and bamboo supports on the sides.
The boats looked very beautiful. Some sails were white, and some had colorful designs.
We spoke with one of the boat operators and joined a sunset sailing trip.
The boat could carry about 6 passengers, so we joined a small group of travelers from different countries.
When the boat started moving, the wind filled the sail, and the boat moved smoothly across the ocean.
The feeling was incredible. The ocean breeze was cool, and the sound of the waves was very relaxing.
We could see the entire coastline of Boracay from the water. White Beach looked very beautiful from far away.
As the sun slowly moved toward the horizon, the sky began to change colors.
First, the sky turned golden yellow. Then it slowly became orange and pink.
Everyone on the boat became quiet. We were all just watching the sunset.
It felt like a very peaceful moment.
I think that sunset was one of the most beautiful sunsets I have ever seen.
Me too. Travel moments like that stay in your memory forever.
After the sailing tour, we returned to the beach. By then, the sky was already dark, and the lights from restaurants were glowing along the beach.
We decided to have a special dinner for our last night in Boracay.
Yes, we wanted to try another famous Filipino dish.
So we went to a restaurant that served sizzling sisig.
Sisig is a traditional Filipino dish made with chopped meat, onions, and spices. It is served on a hot iron plate.
When the sisig arrived at the table, it was still sizzling. You could hear the sound from the hot plate.
The smell was amazing. It was savory, slightly spicy, and very flavorful.
Many people like to eat sisig with rice.
And we also ordered a grilled seafood platter.
The platter included grilled shrimp, squid, and fish.
Everything tasted very fresh. Because Boracay is an island, seafood there is usually very high quality.
During dinner, we talked about our favorite moments from the trip.
Emma, what was your favorite experience in Boracay?
That's a difficult question because there were so many great moments. But if I had to choose one, I would say the island hopping trip.
Yes, snorkeling and swimming with fish was very memorable.
How about you, Lily?
For me, the sunset sailing tour was my favorite. It felt peaceful and magical.
Boracay really has something for everyone. You can relax on the beach, try exciting water sports, or enjoy delicious food.
Speaking of food, let's talk about our top 3 favorite foods in Boracay.
Good idea. My number 1 favorite food was definitely grilled lobster with garlic butter.
Yes, that lobster was amazing. My number 1 favorite was mango shake.
I agree. The mango shake in the Philippines is truly special.
My second favorite was chicken adobo.
And my second favorite was halo halo dessert.
For number 3, I would choose grilled shrimp.
And I would choose banana Q.
Before ending this episode, let's share a few travel tips for people who want to visit Boracay.
Good idea. My first tip is to bring sunscreen. The sun in Boracay can be very strong.
My tip is to try local food. Local restaurants often have the best flavors and authentic experiences.
Another tip is to wake up early at least one day. Morning time on the beach is very peaceful and beautiful.
And finally, don't forget to watch the sunset. Boracay sunsets are truly unforgettable.
Traveling to Boracay was an amazing experience. The beaches were beautiful, the food was delicious, and the people were very friendly.
If you ever have the chance to visit Boracay, we highly recommend it.
Thank you for joining us and learning English with our travel story.
Keep practicing English every day. And remember that listening to stories is a great way to improve your language skills.
We hope our conversation helped you practice your English.
See you next time on our Easy English podcast. Goodbye, everyone.